It's the firestorm after the 4th of July fireworks with all the problems here at home and abroad. The House will only be working 28 days between now and the midterm elections in November. U.S. taxpayers are busy working, so how about our public servants get off their lazy butts and start fixing the VA, the IRS, and everything else broken in D.C.? Plus, the other Supreme decision ready to rock the nation, how the High Court slamming the gavel on public sector unions can help all workers in America. And then, the land of the free ain't so free as it used to be. More and more Americans say they're less satisfied with our freedom. Mr. President, can you hear us now? Cashin, firing up your holiday weekend starts right now. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bong. Welcome to Cashin In. Our Cashin In crew this week: Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Michelle Fields, and Juan Williams. Welcome, everybody. Here's something to think about during your time off this holiday weekend. The vacation continues for our wonderful House of Representatives. They only plan to work 28 days between now and Election Day. That works out to about a day and a half per week. While hardworking Americans, folks like you and me, will be busting our butts 3 times as many days during the same period of time. Meanwhile, Michelle, while they're off, nothing is getting done. The VA, the IRS, Iraq, immigration, the economy. I could go on, but why don't you?
Look, usually I'm okay with members of Congress not being in session because it means they're not wasting our money on stupid things. However, there are a lot of serious issues that need to be addressed right now, like the VA scandal. You know, our members of Congress shouldn't be out and about drinking mimosas while our veterans are dying. They need to fix this right now. And Democrats like to say that this is all Republicans' fault, that they are the obstructionists. No, Harry Reid is the obstructionist. He is the one who has essentially shut down the Senate. He doesn't want Democrats to take any votes on anything because he's scared they will be vulnerable before the midterm elections.
Now, let me bring it over to Juan. Juan, really 28 days between now and November, well, I believe it's November 4th, if I'm not mistaken, first Tuesday in November. 28 days? Come on.
I agree with you. I think it's an outrage, but this is what's been going on in Washington. It's not just in this period, Eric. This is the least productive Congress in history. This is worse than Harry Truman's do-nothing Congress. They've only passed, I think it's 121 bills as of July 1st. So what you see is this is obstructionism. This is an intentional strategy to break the American government, and people should call them out on it. No, not by Harry Reid, by the House of Representatives. They're the ones that have mucked up everything. And I think it's an outrage and a sham and a rip-off of the American. And you want them to pay attention to these phony scandals.
Wait, Harry Reid?
Wait, Juan, you lit a firecracker in a crowded room. Phony scandals, that's another topic. Let me bring it over to John. John, look, I have books right here on my desk. See these books? There's literally thousands and thousands of pages. These are they're called allowances. Each member of Congress, both House and Senate, gets allowances upwards anywhere between $1 million and $2 million per year per member. It's spending money. It's slush funds. It's bottled water. It's anything they want to spend within reason. Anything they want to spend. All they have to do is put in those books, and the taxpayer pays.
Well, Eric, I think that's wrong. It's this mentality, and I think Juan echoes it, that, well, government's got to do something. We have to do something. That necessity to do something is what gave us Obamacare, Dodd-Frank, Sarbanes-Oxley, and the soda ban in New York City. I mean, what is government? It is a gun, so it should be very judicious about how that gun is used. And to Michelle's point, it should start by cleaning its own house. The VA scandal, the IRS scandal, the eruption in the Middle East are all the proper purviews of government, but it's AWOL as usual and focusing on all the wrong things.
And Wayne, what about that? Why don't we just solve the pressing problems, or as Juan calls them, phony scandals? Let's fix those things instead of creating more.
I guess I'm the lone person here who thinks I would be very happy if they did nothing. I like do-nothing Congresses. They pass regulations. They spend an awful lot of time. If you looked at the mass of laws that they have passed just in the last, the so-called do-nothing Congress, it's unbelievable. We weren't put here and living in this country to have the government interfere in our lives every day. If they did nothing, we'd be much better off. All of these regulations that they pass that we have to adhere to, all of those things that they do, It's a waste of our time, a waste of our money, and a waste of the nation's resources.
Well, then you're very happy because they are pretty much do nothing. Guys, honestly,
not enough do
everyone
nothing.
who's watching this show right now is going to go, how much? Every single member of Congress makes a minimum of $174,000. Benefits, perks, health insurance, park your garage. It goes on and on. Lunches, dinners, bottled waters go in this book. It's an outrage. American taxpayers have had it. They're fed up. Let me go around the horn. Michelle first. Go. Take it.
Well, look, it's unfortunate that the taxpayers have to foot the bill. I mean, they're living as though they're like aristocrats, and yet the American people can't even put food on the table. It's unfair, and they need to stop spending our taxpayer dollars.
And, John, should we maybe, what about this? What about either term limits or how about the members of Congress don't get paid for it? Because then we'd find out who really, really wants to serve the country.
Well, I think, Eric, people would be fine paying even $200,000 a year to electors if they actually represented American interests and protected American rights. Now, that's not going to change even with term limits. We're going to get just new politicians who still don't know the Constitution, still don't really even know what Americanism is. To Wayne's point, we think do nothing means passing regulation. Instead of doing more nothing, go out and talk to the people who are affected by that regulation. Talk to small businesses who can't start because of all the costs. Talk to large businesses who are leaving. So do nothing shouldn't be do nothing. It should be do what is proper for an American government. Keep us safe, protect individual rights, and that's it.
Wayne, a day and a half per week between now and the election. If I'm a member of Congress, I got to go, wait a minute. So the American people are going to realize I'm only going to work a day and a half every week until the election, and then I have to be reelected? Maybe it's time to throw the bombs out.
Wait a minute. That gives them less time to do more damage. I'm happy if they don't do the day and a half, put in the day and a half, because they'll do more damage. What they do, though, and one of the things that they should be doing is controlling the power of the president. They are not doing that. There are two ways that they have a chance to do that. They can impeach the president, or they can cut off funds. Cutting off funds would help a lot, but they are paralyzed to do that. So I don't want them to get too active and start stirring up something at the last minute. If they're doing it in a day and a half, yeah, let them go and investigate Benghazi. Let them go and investigate those things. Do that. That's fine. But don't be blowing our money on something that's going to restrict our freedom.
Final thought, Juan. You want to wrap the block up? Take it.
Sure. Let me tell you, most of these guys are millionaires, and all they do, in fact, this week, you know what they did? They said they no longer have to disclose the sponsors of their travel. I mean, to me, these guys are outrageous. You know what you guys are wrong on? The Congress has a responsibility to help us with the economy. This show's about money cashing in. How come they refuse to do anything about the Highway Trust Fund? They refuse to do anything about immigration reform. They refuse to do anything that will help American people get jobs.
I give you the last word. I give you the
constitutional responsibility of helping us with the economy.
Hold on, Juan. I give you the last word, and you throw 4 topics out there. We have to leave it right there.
I'm telling the truth.
We have
the American people deserve a hard-working truth, Eric.
All right, well, you know what? You represent the hardworking man. You are a libertarian.
Thank you, brother.
We're going to have to leave it right there, but you can continue the conversation right now on Twitter. Young BLK Repub says, big government has many victims. Unfortunately, the victims keep voting for the perpetrators. Hashtag Cashin in. And I just tweeted this, 174 grand, millions in allowances, perks galore. So why is Congress working only 28 days between now and November? Hashtag you're fired. Hashtag Cashin in. If you agree with me, retweet that one, get America thinking. By the way, our hashtag Cashin in has trended 23 weeks in a row. Last week, we blew the doors off Twitter with a massive reach of 52 million, making Cashin in one of the most talked about social media topics every single Saturday. We're glad you're riding this wave with us week in and week out. Coming up, are we about to see this spread? The nation's highest court delivering a supreme smackdown on big labor seeking dues from non-union members. Why all workers might want to give thanks to the Supreme Court.
It means that there's not going to be a union contract inserted between my son and I. There's not going to be union rules and regulations dictating how I can provide the care that Josh